Welcome back to the Centre Half Bench podcast. We're getting ready for possibly the tightest final series ever. Every team has a big chance to take it all out this year. Time to strap ourselves in and let's take a preview of what's to come in the upcoming month of footy. So Sash, the first game of this final series, qualifying final 1, Port Adelaide versus Cats at the Adelaide Oval on Thursday night, 1st of October. Who do you reckon will win?
I have the Power winning it this week. I think if Charlie Dixon and the midfield can get going, it's going to be hard to beat them, especially over in Adelaide, because they're such a dominant force, and when they're on, they can't be stopped. And they really showed it when they played against Richmond this year, how good they actually are.
Yeah, a bit like you, I've got Power winning. I reckon that Adelaide Oval home ground advantage will benefit them. And once again, the Cats always seem to fall off come finals times, and they're not as much of the beast as they were during the home and away season.
It's like they shy away from the big stage.
Yeah. So for me, for the Cats to win on Thursday night, they need to get their finals mojo back, that mojo that was around for the 2011, 2010, 2009, around those early 2010s years. They need to get that. They need to get that mojo back, and they need to start with heaps of physicality and pressure to limit that Port Adelaide physicality that we know of. Similarly, the Power, they need to bring that hard edge and grunt to help capture the crowd, and they'll feed off that crowd energy and really maximize that benefit of that home ground advantage.
For me, I think the Cats, for them to win, they need to get going quickly, especially if they want a shot at beating Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide are a very fast, rebounding off the halfback type team. As for Geelong, they like to slow the game down, make the team play a very slow brand of footy and try to force them down the line. Kind of what Port Adelaide did to Collingwood in that round 18 matchup. But I think the Cats have to do that to the Power for them to at least stand a chance. And especially at Adelaide Oval, where it's going to be quite hard for them to stop it, with the corridor being such a massive gateway to get from end to end. For Port Adelaide to win, I think they just need to show what they've been doing all year, bring that hard grunt, like you were saying before, brand of footy. It's just made for finals, and they just got to prove that they're not a regular season team.
Yeah. And if Geelong do go to win, Patrick Dangerfield will need to fire for them to really have a chance. He's 31 years of age. He's got a Brownlow, all this under his belt. He needs to prove that he wants to win that flag that has eluded him for his whole career. And I reckon he can work really hard during this week and just give them the best chance and play well to give him and his team to have the best chance of winning that grand final that's eluded them since 2011 and eluded Patrick Dangerfield for his career, whereas Charlie Dixon, he was quiet against the Pies, and the Power proved they can win against a pretty quality team without him. But for them to win against Geelong and to go into that prelim final, he needs to get firing, and it will make it a lot easier for them in their finals campaign.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of forwards, I'm going with the Cats' big key forward in Tom Hawkins. He needs to be at his best to beat them. I agree with Dangerfield and him have to link up and just show why they were such a good team this year. And I think Tom Hawkins' movement around the ground is going to be a massive upside for them to do, especially if they want to get the ball moving quickly and just show why they're a quality team. And for Port Adelaide, he's stepped up all year. He's going to step up in the finals, you'd hope so. But I think Travis Boak, he needs to lead that Port Adelaide midfield and just dominate and just show what he's been doing all year as a potential Brownlow medalist player.
Yep. And my final verdict is I reckon the Power will get up by 11. They've got a hard brand and the crowd will help boost them. And they're too much grunt and hard work for the Cats who like to play slick and clean footy.
Yeah, agree. I've got Port Adelaide winning by 17 points, home ground advantage. They're going to bring that toughness and strength brand of footy and just absolutely out hunt them, I reckon. But let's get on to the next game at the Gabba on Friday the 2nd of October, Lions versus Tigers. It'll be a big one. Jai, who do you think are winning?
Yeah, for me, I've got Tigers winning. They're too big and too strong, and they've obviously got the finals experience and the mental edge over a team like Brisbane Lions, and they also have the wood over the Lions in recent years, beating them pretty much. Like Chris Fagan's never beaten the Tigers, I'll put it that way. So they've got the wood over them, and I think it's too much for the Lions to overcome, and the Tigers are just too strong.
Yeah, I'm going same as you. I think the Tigers are going to win. You simply can't beat them, whether it's at the G, it's at the Gabba, it's at Metricon, wherever it is in Australia. They're too good to be beaten, and like you're saying, that mental edge and that finals experience, I think, will overrun Brisbane, and just absolutely screw them over.
Yeah, and for the Tigers to win, they need to stay calm. Even if they're down early, they're typically not a team that starts well. So they just need to stay calm, which they're very good at, and just play into the game, give it a bit, and then obviously bring in their exciting running brand of footy and just outlast and outgrunt the young Lions. Whereas for the Lions to win, they need to start well, and they need to kick straight. Obviously, that's been a big downfall for them all year. They need to bring physicality, and they need to maintain that pressure and physicality for the whole game and try to outlast the Tigers, who will be trying to outlast the Lions. So it's a grit and grind, just outlasting each other with hard physical football, and yeah, it'll be a very good game.
I've got for the Tigers to win. All they need to do is play their brand of footy. They can't change it. They have to be playing the brand of footy that they've been playing the last 3-4 years, and just absolutely show their class. It's just they have to show why they are a powerhouse in this team, and I think a big final against Brisbane is going to show that they can continue this Tigers dynasty. I believe so. And for the Lions, like you said, they need to fire quickly. The accuracy has to be better than what it's been this season, the last couple years, because if not, they're going to go out in 2 straight sets again.
Yeah. And for me, for the Tigers to win, Riewoldt needs to fire. Obviously, they've got no Tom Lynch, and with Harris Andrews most likely coming back, Riewoldt needs to step up and repeat what he did in that 2017 season to be that key forward to give them that advantage and really help them win this game and put them in good stead for the final series. And similarly, Rayner, he's the only number 1 pick in this final series. He needs to announce himself and play with excitement. This could be his breakout final series or breakout couple of weeks. And he needs to, once again, he's an excitement player, a bit like Charlie Cameron, and needs to feed off the crowd. And he needs to rev the crowd up, and then he'll feed off that energy.
Yeah. For me, I've got Dusty. He is Dusty, basically. All he has to do is just be best to the footy and just beat out everyone in his way, I believe so. And just keep playing the brand of footy he's been playing his whole career, basically, and I think his class is going to show off. Another player I've got is the other forward down the other end for the Lions, and that's Eric Hipwood. Being the Lions' number 1 target up forward, he has to be kicking goals. None of his inconsistencies can catch up to him, and he has to slot goals through. It has to be 3 goals 1, not 1 goals 3 or something like that, because those missed chances are going to cost them, I believe so.
Yeah, and we've mentioned how the Lions can win, but in my opinion, the Tigers, no matter what the Lions do, but almost certainly are going to win this. Their finals experience will prove too good for the Lions, who have, a Tiger hoodoo, and the Tigers are just too strong.
Yeah, I got the Tigers by 22 points. Their play style will be too hard to match, and I don't see the Lions taming the Tigers or doing anything to at least put a stop to them. for now.
Yeah. Yeah, and this second elimination final, Saints versus Dogs, 6th versus 7th at the Gabba, 4:40. It's an afternoon game, 3rd of October. In my opinion, I have the Dogs winning. They've got the finals experience under their belt from last year, and they're determined to redeem themselves after last year and how they came into that Giants game as favourites and got embarrassed, and they'll take that very personally and they'll use that as motivation for this final.
I agree. I don't see the Saints beating the Dogs. I think they'll put up a fight, but I think the Dogs' class, their play style, I think it fits finals footy, but it has to be perfected. It can't be any mistakes. And just that experience, like I said, is just going to outrun them and outbeat the Saints.
Yeah. And for the Saints to win, they need to limit the influence of the Dogs in midfield, and they need to outperform the Dogs with their own fast-moving brand. Obviously, two very fast teams, two very hard-running teams, and yeah, they just need to limit each other's. They need to limit the Dogs' damage in the midfield, and that'll go a long way to winning the game. Similarly, the Dogs, with their midfield stars, they have to fire and they have to take advantage of their key tools in Norton, Bruce, and English up forward. Obviously, English in the middle, rotating. He plays majority ruck time, but rotating a little bit forward. They just really need to take advantage of that and get good, quick ball use in to help them kick goals and mark.
Yeah, I think with the Saints, they have to utilise their stars. Jack Steele, Dan Butler, Hanbury, Marshall, etc. And they have to kick straight against this Doggies team because any mistakes, this Doggies team will, I think, bounce back and absolutely destroy you. For the Dogs, they have to get Bontempelli, Bailey Smith, Jack Macrae, that midfield especially. They have to show their class and really step up. And Bont has to lead this team. And a big player who's had a bit of a down year that they brought in was Josh Bruce. And I think he has to kick a goal. He has to kick a couple goals and needs to just show his old team what they're missing out on and why that he made the best decision to leave that club.
Yeah. And for the Dogs to win, they need, once again, the midfield stars to fire. Obviously, young Bailey Smith, Marcus Bontempelli and Macrae, along with Tim English, they really need to lift and help them get over the line. Whereas the Saints, they need Ryder and Marshall, that ruck combo. They need to wear out English with running all around the ground. And if English is having a down day, that'll go a long way to nullifying the impact of Smith, Bont and Macrae, and then that'll help the Saints win.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a big game to watch, I believe. And with the Saints, like you said, Steele and Marshall and Ryder, they just have to dominate that midfield and just show their class, all three of those boys.
Yep, and for me, I have the Dogs winning by 4. The game of the week, possibly the game of the finals series. It'll be one in the middle of the ground, and the Saints mids ultimately have too big a job to overcome with the Dogs. Who you got winning?
I've got the Doggies winning. I think the Doggies are going to win by 11. I think it's going to be a tight game, and they're going to come out with the win. But the Saints will be able to hold their heads high, knowing that this is the first final, and I think it's, I want to say 9 years. The last time they made it was 2011. So, yeah, and they just got to absolutely put their head high as win or loss, I believe so.
Yep. And for us, the game that'll be getting us on the edge of our seats, Eagles versus Pies over in Optus Stadium, 8:10 Australian Eastern Time, obviously 6:10 over there in WA. Saturday night football, big game, big crowd, tough challenge over in the West, yeah, sold out. But yeah, all of those factors with quarantine, the crowd, they're too big of disadvantages in my mind for the Pies to overcome. As much as I do want us to overcome it with backs against the walls, I'm going to have to tip Eagles on this one.
Yeah, sadly, I think the Eagles are going to win it. Are going to win it. They're too good at their home ground, and they've had it over the Pies probably since that third quarter in 2018, where they just came and absolutely ran over us, sadly.
Yeah. And for me, for the Pies to win, we need our we need to limit Nick Nat in the ruck. Obviously, Grundy needs to step up. He's had a very quiet season. He needs to lift now and show why he's getting paid millions of dollars over several years. And we need to limit the Eagles' key forwards. Obviously, Kennedy, Allen, Darling, we need to limit them, as well as thriving off the negative energy of the crowd and embrace a challenge that will be this game. Obviously, the Eagles crowd will be getting up and about in our face, and we need to embrace that and use it as energy to fuel us on. Whereas for the Eagles to win, they need to use that crowd energy as well. They need to hunt the Pies and, limit Grundy's impact on Nick Nat by just having Nick Nat and the Eagles mids dominate and get a quick ball use into those tall forwards, and there's not much you can do.
Yeah, I think the Eagles gotta use their superstars and that home ground advantage of strength and outplay the Pies like they have the last couple of years, and show their class in WA and advance to the next round. But for the Pies, I think they need to limit that midfield and Nick Nat for them to win, and that forward line, especially if they do get Josh Kennedy and Jack Darling and Oscar Allen in there firing the Eagles. And if the Eagles don't get some of their superstars back, I think that's a massive favour for the Pies as well, which Jai and I, we are looking forward to waiting for the teams to see what's happening with that.
Yeah. And for me, for the Pies to win, they need Grundy and the mids to fire, as well as the back line nullifying the impact of those tall forwards. We need to win it in the middle and, stop the Eagles' dynamic forward line. And we need to have our forwards perform the best they have almost all season to actually put up a winnable score that we can defend, because at the moment it's been defenders carrying the team. But for the Eagles, they need McGovern and the other returning Eagles to step up quickly and adjust to the needs of finals footy, and McGovern will go a long way to stopping us from scoring a winning score.
Yeah, agreed. And for me, I've got, for the Pies, I think Pendlebury needs to step up. He obviously missed the last game against the Eagles due to injury, and as the Pies leader, he needs a big game and to provide just that support and urgency to win this game, like he's been saying during some of his press conferences this week. For me, the Eagles player that has to step up is Jack Darling. In case of Josh Kennedy does miss the game, he's going to have an absolute blinder performance. Like 3 goals plus for him will get them over the line, I believe so. And if it's not him, Oscar Allen probably, but I think that he's going to be the game changer for me.
Yeah, and for me, my final verdict, I have Eagles winning by 23. The crowd in quarantine, once again, too much for the gallant Pies. I reckon we'll go out with a fight, but it'll be too much for us to overcome. And unfortunately, that'll spell the end of our campaign.
Yeah, look, I physically can't tip against the Pies or mentally. So I think the Pies might take it by 2, but I do think the Eagles are going to win. And with Kane Cornes coming out and saying the Eagles are going to win, the last time he said a team was going to beat the Pies in a massive game was the 2018 prelim finals against the Tigers. And he jinxed the Tigers, and I think he's going to jinx the Eagles, hopefully. But that's for me to hope for, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's time for Footy Stocks. If you're new to this podcast, Footy Stocks is our main segment. In it, we talk about something that we like the look of, that we want to buy in, something we don't like that we want to sell, and something we want to hold on to because we're not too sure. For me, I'm going to buy in the Tigers' title defence. Honestly, they're the most experienced team in this competition left, and I think it'll go a long way to helping them win it all. And at the moment, I can't see anyone beating them unless a team has a Western Bulldogs type run come finals. What are you buying into?
That the Power are a serious threat this year, and possibly could go all the way for premiership glory.
Yeah, I'm going to sell in the Dogs 2016 repeat. I obviously just mentioned how a team could do what they did, but I think that year they did overcome a lot, but they're probably not as primed as they were back then, even though they have a somewhat better list. They haven't really hit their straps at the right time compared to what they did then. And yeah, it's a bit much for them to overcome when teams like Richmond are so dominant, even though there was the Hawks back then. They were on the way down, whereas now Richmond is still well and truly on top. So what are you selling?
If I believe the Dogs are going to win, but if the Saints do win, I don't see them going past the semi-finals. I think they will be stopped there at the latest. So I'm selling the Saints to not go past the semi-finals if they were to win against the Doggies, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And you brought in Powers' premiership hopes. I'm going to hold on to them. I'm not too sure. They are a very good chance, but I'm not sure on how they'll go come finals. They could do what Brisbane did last year. Also, they could do what the Dogs did in 2016 and thrive off finals and really help maximise their performance. What are you holding on to?
The Tigers to go back to back. They've definitely got the list to do it. They've got the coach to do it, and they've got the play style to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do win their third premiership in 4 years, and just make a dynasty, like I was saying before.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for Footy Stocks for this week.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, let us know down below in the comments. If you have any other ideas for any other segments, let us know. Shoot us either a comment, DM on Instagram, whatever it is. Hope you're enjoying it, and hope you can help us grow. Now we've said who we think will win the first week of finals. With that, we can make predictions for the rest of the final series. Semi-final one, based off our predictions, is Cats versus Eagles. For me, I've got Cats winning by 21. They're too classy, and the Eagles away from home in Queensland are a bit of an iffy. They're nothing compared to what they are. Nothing compared to the beasts that they are in WA.
Yeah, agreed. Semi-final 2, sorry, Jai, the Lions versus the Dogs, and I think the Lions will be just too good and they'll just take it over the line by 11 points, and the Gabba's going to have a big advantage for the boys in Brisbane.
Yeah, and obviously with Port Adelaide winning that qualifying final 1, at least we think so, and the Lions beating Dogs in that semi-final 2. That brings up a Power versus Brisbane semi-final. Power versus Brisbane prelim at the Adelaide Oval. That Adelaide Oval is a big benefit, and the Powers hard brand will give them an edge over the Lions. And I see them winning this by 17 points and cementing a spot in that grand final, which is an amazing achievement considering they finished 13th last year or something like that.
Yeah, and for the prelim final 2, it's going to be a Tigers-Cats affair again, with the Tigers getting over by 21 points. Joe and I think so. And I think they've got the edge over the Cats, and they're a very classy, well-rounded, exciting team.
Yeah, and this sets up a blockbuster grand final, Port versus Tigers. Port Adelaide's first grand final since that 2004 win, if I'm not wrong. And the Tigers, obviously, once again, 3 grand final appearances in 4 years, possibly their third grand final win in 4 years. And who do you have winning this sash?
The Tigers. If it's going to be at the Gabba, which it is, you just can't go past them. I reckon they're going to win it by 14 points in a very, very good grand final, one of the better ones in recent years. And I think the experience of playing grand final football and being on the big stage is going to help them tremendously.
Yeah, and they're, in all honesty, they are the best team this year because they do play that hard-edged, exciting footy. They play on the edge, and we've seen that through Tom Lynch this year. They've proven time and time again that they're a big-time team and that they're full of role players that are invested in the system and trying to help build that winning culture and success that they have had throughout the last 4 years of dominance. And on top of that, they are very well led with Damien Hardwick. I can't see them getting beaten. They are the best team, in my opinion, for those reasons this year.
Yeah, agreed. The only way they win, though, is if they nullify the impact of Port Adelaide stars. So you got Travis Boak, Ollie Wine, Charlie Dixon, Burn Jones, Butters, all those type of players, Dersma, and they need to capitalise on their big game experience against the Tigers.
Against the Power.
The Power, sorry.
Yeah, and
Shit.
you heard it here first. We've tipped Richmond to be the 2020 premiers, obviously put an asterisk next to it. So every time a Tigers supporter mentions it, you can say, well, it was 2020, there was Corona, it doesn't really count, just to piss them off. It hurts me to say that I reckon they'll win, but they are, in my opinion, the best team, and it will be a ripping final series if we are not wrong.
I think it'll be their 14th premiership winning, or they'll tie 15 with the Pies. I'm not sure. It'll be one of those. But anyways, thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Something different with a preview, not a review. And for the final series coming up, tell us if you liked it and you'd want to see more. Anyways, guys, peace in the Middle East. Have a good one.